So, hey everyone, welcome to Start Your Dungeons. I'm Adam,
I'm Bryce.
and today we're doing something very different. So, this is kind of our year end show. We have gone 20, so this would be our 28th episode.
Yeah.
So, we started at the tail end of summer, and we just wanted to review some of the things that we have reviewed,
Yeah.
and say what was our favorites, what surprised us, maybe stuff that wasn't really our favorite, things that disappointed us. One of mine that disappointed me, we didn't review for the show, but it was just something that disappointed me and
Interesting.
has not made it to the show because it disappointed me.
Yeah, I went about it with I looked at it. So Adam said, we've been doing this about 6 months or so on the channel, and what really prompted me was to look back. We've reviewed a lot of different things that have been less mainstream than normal. We're trying to hit a lot of the indie RPG community, trying to hit a lot more of like the smaller scale stuff for miniature games, as well as a little bit of card game reviews. So that was really our main goal, was talk about that, and then also talk about what's coming up, because it's about to be 2024, and like we've got some stuff in the works of like what we want to talk about. So
Yep.
let's start things off. What was your favorite RPG starter set?
My favorite starter was the Fabula Ultima Quick Start.
Okay.
Hands down, the Fabula Ultima Quick Start. I love the little adventure. I love the layout, the artwork, everything about it.
I mean, it's a great one to pick. It was our fun fact. It's our first video to hit over 1,000 views for us. So like, it was like a huge video that helped our channel grow. And I think, we still love Fabula Ultima. We just reviewed, if you haven't seen the new Atlas book that came out for it, and talked about basically how it's the greatest thing ever for expansion books to ever come out.
Yeah.
So, it's one of the top ones for us. So I think it's hard not to pick that. But I picked a different one. And
Okay.
for those who don't, me and Adam didn't tell each other our list because we wanted to like go in kind of blind surprise. So my one I picked, and I think you would agree with me, is the City of Mist starter set.
That was I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
We both walked. I mean, I walked into that, read that rule book, and went, I don't know if I can run this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I get it. And then we sat down at the table, and what was great was it was me, you, and two friends of yours that I had never met. And I had one of the best gaming experiences I think I've ever had playing with people.
Yeah.
Just really getting the opportunity to like watch them grow into how they played their characters and really fit that character's theme. It was just such a really cool thing. And yeah, I can't speak highly enough about that City of Mist starter. Like when people ask me like about it now when I go to the store, I'm like, oh, like if you want to talk about like one that really like I loved, that's probably it.
It's very cinematic.
Yeah,
So
very much a cinematic game.
yeah, give it a try. What about miniatures? What about miniature starters?
So it's only been out for a little bit, but it's done really well for us. I'm going to talk not hopefully too long on it, but the Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone starter set. I have now every single week since I bought that game played it once a week or more. I go to my local game night on Wednesday. We play 3 or 4 games a night. We just started a campaign for it. I think if you're looking for a game that you really want to do like a campaign with, or and something with like a little bit of sci-fi skirmish rules that aren't overly complicated, that's a 10 out of 10 for me. I really
too.
just like, it blew me out of the water. I mean, I have gone full force into loving that game, playing that game, and like I highly can't, like every time I'm in the shop, people ask me, because like I'm the guy who kind of helps run a lot of the RPGs and miniature game stuff up at the store. They're like, "What's the game you would recommend for someone getting into miniature games?" It's that.
Yeah.
The price, the value. I mean, the gameplay, 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
The Masters of the Universe Battleground.
That's a really, really good one. And funny enough, I want to thank the people who commented on that video, because it's not huge kind of where we're at, but I learned a lot about like the community of that game, and how like the community is really into like tournament play, and how the
Okay.
company has really helped with that. And so, yeah, it was a really interesting one to kind of watch that grow. And like see so many people be like, thank you for reviewing this game. And I think both our games are kind of like this that we picked, where they're not very widely known, but the people who love them are like, thank you for reviewing this, because now I can tell people and show them, hey, this is why I like this game
Yeah.
so much, sort
I mean,
of thing.
I love the models. I like
Oh,
the
yeah.
system. The terrain, everything is just it's a solid buy for me. I'm so happy that I got that.
Right. No, it's a 10 out of 10 for that. So let's talk about your favorite RPG core rulebook.
So this one was real hard for me. So I went between Swords and Wizardry Complete and Fabula Ultima, and I'm gonna have to say Fabula Ultima core rulebook wins.
So I'm just gonna say that's my pick. Like it was between for me. It was actually between that book and the Pirate Board book.
Yeah.
I think the Pirate Board book was really really good. But no, Fabula Ultima has been. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like we still haven't really gotten a chance to sit down and play it as much as we want to. But like, it's still something I keep on the back burner. I bring up with people. I mean, when you talk about just value and also how much of a fun, interesting system it was, and also just blew me out of the water. I know you had kind of like followed it for a little while and watched its production and like how it got and like held back for a little bit.
I was obsessed for a while.
Yeah, like, and I was kind of like, oh, cool, like, you know, whatever. Because I feel like, you know, not to bash any other system, but there's a lot of JRPGs, sort of like tabletop RPGs that come out that are pretty okay sometimes, or like just setting books that are really just 5th edition reskinned, and
Right.
it just doesn't fit as well. I feel like this really game got the system. So yeah. I mean, we're gonna sit here and praise that game the whole time. So,
And I will
like,
say, you know, not to disparage my, you know, love of Swords and Wizardry Complete. It's just that I have lots of Swords and Wizardry Complete books, and the Fabula Ultima was just something very new.
yeah, very new, and like I said, like Pirate Borg almost did it for me as well. But like I feel like at the end of the day, as much as I love Pirate Borg, I'm gonna probably play Fabula Ultima lots more than Pirate Borg in the end. Let's talk about things we wanted to do. One about surprised us the most. So we'll talk about the RPGs and miniatures. What was your rulebook that surprised you the most?
Pirate Borg.
Well, I also picked Pirate Borg.
Yeah. I mean, it really is just because having bought Morkborg and seeing so many of those products, I knew that it wasn't for me, you know.
The
not
fatigue was there of like kind of product for
yeah,
it.
it was just so many things from Morkborg, and it wasn't my style of game. And then I saw the Morkborg, I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I can get behind this.
The Pirate Board book is exceptional, and kudos to the creator of that. We'll probably post a little short about it at some point, but they are working right now on the Kickstarter for the Dark Caribbean source book, which will actually, they're talking about it being definitely, I think, for 5th edition and the Morkborg setting, but even spreading it out to more like OSR stuff.
Okay.
So, definitely something to keep in the look out for. But yeah, Pirate Board just 10 out of 10 book for me. That one really was the book that made me go, I get what the Morkborg like the Borg system is about.
Yeah.
And then talking about surprised us the most for miniatures, I'm going to repeat it again, unfortunately, but I think it's just so good, was, again, Cyberpunk Red Combat Patrol, or
Mine
Combat
too.
Zone. Like, oh!
I picked it too.
Yeah.
I had no expectations for that game. I mean, I had heard of it. I knew of the IP, and
Monster Club, too. Like, knowing
Yeah.
them for terrain. You own some of their
yeah,
terrain.
I've got some of their terrain. Their trees.
Exceptional.
Yeah,
Yeah, their pre-painted stuff is really
yeah.
nice.
If you need some trees for your tabletop games, yeah, go look them up.
Yeah, I think they're known mostly for terrain, you know, because they also do all the Cyberpunk Red RPG like miniatures, and they do buildings and very cheap, nice quality terrain. I think, you know, but yeah, that starter set. Like I said, I play it every week now. I play multiple games of it. I've got a campaign going at the store. Like I just can't stop playing that game. It excites me. It's so much fun, and yeah, definitely worth looking into. Now we're going to do something we don't normally do, which is talk about things that disappointed us this year. So
We're pretty positive
Yeah.
on this show. We don't really talk about things that we don't
yeah,
like.
Well,
You know, if we don't review it, you know, either we don't have it or there may be a reason why.
yeah, or you know, like we did the episode of our podcast, the Grinds Our Meeples, where
Yeah.
we really did kind of complain. But yeah, we try to keep this a positive, more talking about the product and not like bearing down on anything else for it, but there were some things that disappointed us this year, you know, and things that we reviewed. And to start it off, I mean, I think we probably have the same one is the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle D&D 5th editions.
Yeah.
Like that starter box, the value's not there.
Yeah.
$20 value is not there.
I mean, and the adventure's just kind of okay.
It's very much, I feel like a $5 quick start fluffed up to try and be $20. And yeah, I don't. It's so weird to me. Like I think immediately when I was sitting here and I was thinking of it, I was like, oh, I don't know about doing a disappointed us, but I'll do it. But I immediately knew actually what both of mine were going to be because I was like, I just feel like the dragon one was just I mean, it's one of our early videos we reviewed. It just doesn't. Out of all the options you can pick, unfortunately, it's the most widely available, and it's not the best one.
Yeah.
So, what is your miniature one?
So we have not reviewed it, but it's the Dead Zone Fall of Omega 7 starter box from Mantic. I will say I like the system.
Yeah.
The system is very similar to to things that you might get from Games Workshop. You know, the dice mechanic works pretty much the same way.
Describe what it's like too, because the game is very like their version of 40K.
Yeah,
correct?
it's more like Kill Team.
Okay.
So you've got your smaller squad, and it is a grid. So you've got I think it's a 3x3 square. And that's where you put your miniatures, and you also have terrain that can go up, so you can stack them. Yeah. And so the box that I have are like these kind of corrupted zombie looking guys versus these robot, very much like the Tau kind of looking things. And like I said, the system looks fine. I think the materials in the box, like the terrain's kind of, hit or miss.
It's interesting. It's we'll review it probably within the new year, but it is very it's very square modular, which is cool, but it is a little bit.
The problem is the miniatures, and they're a mess. Mm-hmm. I know Mantic has a huge following. They're just not the kind of quality that I'm looking for. It's like
they've gotten better, but they used to not be. I think they struggled for a long time with their.
Like I've also got the Vanguard set here, and I put them together both this year and painted both sets. And I have a lot of Mantic products. I've got all the old Dungeon Saga stuff. My problem is that you will have some sets that'll have harder plastic, softer plastic, and resin all in the same set. And you'll have things that just don't want to fit together just right. Some things look way out of proportion. They're just not for me.
Right.
So, if you love the Dead Zone stuff, have at it. It's just not for me.
Right. I think it really, like you said, we'll review it soon, but it's really, the rule set is good, but the value in the models isn't there, really. Yeah. To talk about the one that disappointed me, I think if anyone watched that video, you can tell my thoughts on it was the AOS Warrior Edition box. I think if you're going to play Age of Sigmar, you shouldn't give me a box set that basically is hardly any of the game. It's not a lot of the game. It's going to teach you the basic rules, but then when you play bigger games, you're going to be like, this didn't prepare me at all.
Yeah.
I have a lot of just issues, I think, with Games Workshop, and we complained about it in our Grind Our Meeple episode about how bad it is getting into their games, just in terms of like starter boxes and things. And I think that one just really...
and knowing which website to go to.
Oh, and they changed the website. By the way, if you're listening, GW, your new website sucks. It's so much harder to do now. Like, you may have cleaned it up for yourself, but you did not clean it up for us. It is so much more annoying. But then we're going to go from a negative, talk about a positive note. So we're going to talk about 3 or so games, at least that I wrote down, that we are excited to review coming into the new year. You know, a couple of different options for each of us. And the one I'll start to talk about was a game that I played literally last night, which is Monster of the Week. We're gonna finally review it on the channel. My favorite game of all time that we still haven't reviewed.
Yeah. But it's so much fun.
So much fun. I was joking with Adam. So this is my favorite game of all time. Last night was the first time I've ever been a player character in it. I've always been the person like in charge of running the game.
It's like me with Swords and Wizardry.
Yeah, like it's very funny because I was like, oh wow, like I can't believe I haven't ever been a player character, but like super fun to play. Super great game. Again, it's my top one, and like I'm excited for us to talk about it. So
the one that I'm really excited about is Household.
that book's beautiful.
Yeah, it's an RPG. It uses six-sided dice. I bought the specialty dice that have they're the symbols for the different suits of playing cards, but the entire thing it's an old Victorian style house that is filled with fairies. You play as a fairy inside this gigantic house, and each room is its own nation.
Yeah.
So gorgeous. It looks so good. I've been reading through it. I'm nowhere near completely, finished reading it, but I'm so excited to play it.
That one looks really cool, and we saw it originally at the Innies. It was up there. It was up for the Innies about things you should be on the lookout for, and definitely I remember I saw it at the game store and immediately sent a picture to Adam, and I was just like, this cover is so gorgeous, you just need to buy a copy of it.
And I did!
Yeah, because, it was on your list, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. For my next one we're talking about is another game that's in my top favorite games of all time we've played, and we talked about it in the Halloween episode, which is Heart: The City Beneath.
Yeah.
So, Heart is one of my favorite games by Rowan. Oh my gosh. Rowan Decker and Pawn, I believe is their thing. I apologize if I messed it up. Great company. I'm excited for your Eat the Right Kickstarter to be delivered to me. So, really great company. They make really great kind of interesting games. Heart is very much like the grittiest, darkest dungeon crawl you've ever played in your life. But
they make Spire too.
They also make Spire. They make Honey Heist is one of their other famous ones they're known for. They make a bunch. I've always loved that one of their game designers forever did a RPG a week, which was like really small 1 or 2 page ones. Some really fun kind of stuff, they do. But I'm excited to talk about Heart. We played Heart for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Me, you, Adam, and a friend of ours. Not Adam, Rob, and it was absolutely like one of the most fun times I've had being a GM and also like being a player character.
Yep.
So excited to bring that one onto the channel.
Yep. I'm excited to review Fantasy Age 2nd Edition.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because I've only played that system when we did the Dragon Age RPG, which we might do a retro review of. And that system has always been on my in the back of my brain, considering to get it because a lot of people love it for solo play in the way of play. So I was excited that you got that.
Yeah, I picked up the I had the PDFs of all the Fantasy Age stuff from, I think it was a Humble Bundle or a Bundle of Holding or something, and and I had run the Dragon Age starter box and just really loved it. But I got the Fantasy Age 2nd Edition, and I gotta say, it's just it's gorgeous. It's a great book. The layout's great. And so without spoiling too much, I just want to say I already am in love with this game, so it'll be a positive review.
Yeah. And then my last one we're going to talk about is one that we're literally playing in less than 3 days, which is Candela Obscura. So the new game by Darrington Press, for those who know the Critical Role group, they're bringing out their game. I have read the rule book. I'm excited for us to play and then talk about it. Expect that review soon. Very interesting sort of system. Kind of draws its system from the Blades in the Dark, which I also have and we haven't reviewed yet. And very cool system with really cool narrative kind of play through it in this dark, gothic sort of setting right after the First World War. It's really, really interesting. Beautiful book. And I'm excited for us to play it and then talk about it because I think it's going to be one that probably gets some pretty good praise from both of us.
And my last one is one that we've played a few times and I really enjoy it a lot. Is One Page Rules.
Right.
It's the new edition of One Page Rules. if you don't know what one page rules is, it's a so you could download the rules for free. It is a they have different versions. So there's both sci-fi and fantasy versions of skirmish and bigger
Armies.
campaign, like bigger army style games, very similar to like Age of Sigmar and 40K.
Yeah.
But it has army builders right there on their website, and you can just build your armies right there for free. We got the advanced version of the rules. I think it was $5 or something.
And they every time they update it, we get it for free, so that's
Yeah.
really nice. But we've been doing the Age of Fantasy skirmish game and really enjoying that. We had talked, if you had followed our podcast, about our Path to Glory for AOS, and we just kind of died out on playing that. It was just too much for us to even just us two to kind of get through and play.
Yeah.
And this one has definitely grown on me as like an option because it's pretty simple. I mean, the rule set is really simple and it's just fun for us to like crack out a few games. It doesn't take long to play, and I'm definitely excited to bring it because I think a lot of people know about this system, but maybe haven't had an opportunity to really like look at it. So getting more people to know about it.
Yeah. I think you should play it.
Yeah, no, I definitely think you should. If you're looking for some different things to do with your Games Workshop models, there you go. So, so that's our episode. Again, our 2023 wrap. What I want to say is, closing out is thank you to everyone who has shown, either commented, liked our videos, shared our videos, watched them.
Subscribed.
Yeah, subscribed. This has been something that Adam and I literally said we're just going to do for fun. And you guys have shown that you want this content. You love this content. And we love being able to interact with you all as a community and really get to chat about things that we love with other people around the world. So, we just want to thank you for everything you guys have done for us. And, we are looking forward to what 2024 brings us.
Yeah. So, see you in the next video.
Yep. Y'all take care.
Bye.